Greetings. My name is Reverend Dale Brown, and I have the great honor of being the senior pastor at Community Church at Ocean Pines. I hope that as this comes out the week after Christmas and slightly before New Year, that you've had a great time of celebration, maybe with family and friends, and that this has been a positive time, positive experience for you of this holiday season. I know that some people struggle, and we have thought about you and we've prayed for you here at this church, and we wish you a very Merry Christmas and a very happy and blessed New Year. I'd like to take your attention with me for a few moments to the Old Testament, to the minor prophet Micah. Now there are two places in Micah that are very familiar to me. And you might ask, what are they? Well, let me read them to you. The first is from chapter 5, and it is part of those predictions about the Messiah's coming to the manger of Bethlehem. But you, O Bethlehem of Ephratah, who are one of the little clans of Judah, from you shall come forth for me one who is to rule in Israel, whose origin is from of old, from ancient days. Therefore he shall give them up until the time when she who is in labor has brought forth. Then the rest of his kindred shall return to the people of Israel. And he shall stand and feed his flock in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God. And they shall live secure, for now he shall be great to the ends of the earth, and he shall be the one of peace. This prediction about Jesus coming out of Bethlehem reminds us that God begins his plan of salvation, the life of Jesus, in a very small way. A little teeny baby. It would have been more inclined for us to think that he would come in great power, maybe thunder and lightning would accompany him, but when God enters the world, when God becomes incarnate in human flesh, he does so as a tiny little baby. But God's kingdom doesn't remain there. It grows and grows and grows every day, so that in our lives we can enter into and be a part of that kingdom, a part of a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I invite you to think about that relationship even as you listen to these words. O Bethlehem of Ephratah, who are one of the little clans of Judah. God is always one who takes small things and makes them great. That's true of what God did in Jesus, but it's also true of what God does in us. Sometimes we think we don't count, or maybe we're not accomplishing anything, or maybe it seems that we just don't matter. But we matter to God, and God can use us to do great and wonderful things. Now you might be wondering, what is the other verse in Micah that I am very fond of? Let me read that one to you. I think it might be even a little more familiar. Micah asks, with what shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before God on high? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, with 10,000s of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He has told you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. One of the things that I do every year is I try to figure out or pray out about one word that will be my word for the entire year. In the past, my word has been service, compassion, prayer, and I try to emphasize and look for ways that that word becomes effective both in my life and in my ministry here as a pastor, and also in my time with my family. As I have prayed about it and sought God's direction and thought a lot about it, my word for 2022 is love. I believe that as a United Methodist pastor, as a disciple of Jesus Christ, as a brother, an uncle, I'm called to love. And in loving, it doesn't matter to me whether that love is reciprocated or not. My responsibility is to love. Nowhere in Scripture do I see God say that our responsibility to love ends. We are called to love our neighbor as ourselves. We're called to love our enemies. We're called to love God with all our heart, with all our mind, with all our soul, and with all our strength. Maybe if we love, 2022 will be a better year, a different year, and maybe we'll be different people because of it. But I have to gently and lovingly remind you, love comes in and through the Christ who is born in the manger of Bethlehem, Ephratah. A small beginning with a great outcome. What's your word for 2022? I hope that you can find a word that suits your spiritual life and what you need to accomplish in this year. But for me, my word is love. May God bless you.